Morning, everyone. It's about 8:35 on Wednesday, February the 3rd. Groundhog came out and said 6 more weeks. Like that matters as much as the weather people on TV. Okay, so we had big news yesterday, earnings and others. And this morning we have the ADP numbers, which are soft at best. The ADP payrolls number for January were up 174,000, which is weak. January is generally weak, but when you have the kind of decrease in payrolls that we've seen that are related to the pandemic, numbers should be bigger. And December was revised down. So ADP, whatever the number was in December, was revised down to, I believe, 87,000, which is really bad. So, we are continuing to have, with our numbers, which of course we'll have on Friday, with our numbers and tomorrow's continuing claims and initial claims, they seem to be moving in the right direction, just not particularly quickly, and they are disappointments. Now, I'm not sure how the market reacts to that from the standpoint of, is good news, or is good news bad news? If we have weak numbers, does that mean more easing and more buying of, by the Fed? So we'll have to see how that shakes out. Asia was mixed. Europe was up. And Janet Yellen is going to meet with the regulators about the GameStop, AMC trading, and you can be sure with this administration that there will be suggestions of more regulation. Okay, in last night's news, we have the Amazon, which everybody should know about now. They also, by the way, topped $100 billion in the quarter for revenues. Their number came in at $125 billion, and the stock is up about 75. But the big news was clearly BEZOS stepping down and moving into the executive chairman position, and JASSY coming over from AWS, which he formed. He's a 25-year employee at Amazon, so looks like it's in good hands. Google up 152 on their information yesterday. Strong beat. The negative one was Chipotle, CMG. It's down about 39 right now. It was down substantially more. Alibaba came out and said that they are going to raise $5 billion in a bond offering. The stock was down yesterday on earnings guidance, but it's up a little over $10 this morning on the other news. Electronic Arts missed. The stock is 143.26, down 571, 3.8%, and I assume that is kind of a surprise based on the fact that, it was the Christmas quarter, and besides that, we have a pandemic, and all you hear about are people, at home buying games, playing games, and of course trading. One more bit of news that seemed like it would be a big negative, but has not turned out that way yet. Under Armour and the NFL are splitting up. They're not going to be making all of the NFL stuff that they've been contracted to for the last couple of years, but the stock is dead even, unchanged, so maybe it was already in it. The chart on the screen are the bonds. I'm concerned about the bonds. I've been concerned about the bonds. As you can see, we've had these moves up that have had sharp breaks. Here's another one. We moved up. We drew a great trend line. As a matter of fact, we traded this one to the downside. We had another one here. We have another one here, and it looks like we're setting up for yet another break to the downside. Now, to give you a little bit better look at this, I'm going to go to the weekly and push it out a little so that you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this same chart that I've been looking at and showing you for months and months and months. Here's that first break, here's the second break, and it looks like we're about to get the third break. The move down to 166 looks pretty much in the money, but the fact is we're 168. I'm more concerned about if it breaks that and comes back in, as I wrote over the weekend, into this 164 area. This would be a very profitable trade. Again, I'm just not sure about whether or not bad news for the economy is, going to hurt the bonds. I mean, in theory, clearly it should, because the more paper that's out there means the more paper and supply that there's going to be in the bond market. And at some point in time, with rates moving higher, initially that will be good for demand. But if rates continue to move higher, it'll also involve a little, little bit of procrastination with people who say, gee, maybe I can hold off and get a little bit more yield, or only buy half as much and wait for better yields. I mean, this is the kind of the inverse of what we've been seeing before, where people were rushing for yield. I'm not so sure that that continues here, certainly not in the numbers that we're talking about. As far as the rest of the futures, stock futures are mixed at best because of the monster numbers yesterday from Amazon and Google, and the action in BABA this morning. The NASDAQ is up. It's up about 100. The S&P is down not down. It's up about 13, and the Dow is the one that was down. Right now, the Dow implied open is up $6.52. So not much there. The oil continues higher. I'm going to try and get out of the SCO position on any kind of a pullback. The gold is up slightly, but after the last couple of days, this really isn't much of a move, especially when you see that the silver is up 75 cents again, which is pretty substantial, and the platinum and palladium are both higher, although nothing overwhelming, as you can see. Let's go back to the daily here. We had the big jump on Monday. We had it come back in yesterday, but right back to support and start to move back up again. This would be a good area for it. And while I don't think that this market is as susceptible as a GameStop or AMC was, more demand is more demand. And, perception is reality in these markets. The other thing is that once you get some momentum, things tend to get carried away. So we gapped up, we came back, we filled the gap, we hit support. The 5-day is still moving higher. It is above the 20-day. It is above the 50-day. And all of these moving averages are bent to the upside. All right, everyone, have a good day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I think we're going to do an interview with a commodity trader on YouTube in the next couple of days, and I will post that also. Have a good one.